Gotcha. Well, my channels are bouncing, so I'm going to assume that means that I can, in fact, be heard. So just a chill channel tonight, hanging out and looking at what I've gotten in the mail recently. Unboxing for my budget gamer section, and just having fun. So this massive tome here, I didn't actually get too recently. It's been, I'd say, a good month or so, but I did want to talk about it. This is Against the Dark Master. Kickstarter fulfillment, huge book. This thing is pretty beefy guy. Let's see what we got here. Almost 2 inches thick. Very large book. The reason I was interested in this is kind of an OSR build of Rollmaster or Middle Earth role playing. Both games that I grew up with. I played all through college. Rollmaster is probably my longest running campaign. It ran for almost 7 years while I was going through college and grad school, and then maybe another 3 years intermittently after that as we would get together after everyone had graduated, moved along. We'd get together once or twice a year, rent a cabin, hang out all weekend, and game this very long running campaign. So Against the Dark Master is kind of, again, it's not an official kind of rebaking of Rollmaster, but it's darn close. It's very similar to more similar to Middle Earth role playing in that it's more streamlined, it's more basic. I would say even more basic than Middle Earth was actually. The book itself is black and white, chart heavy, which Rollmaster, Rules Master as it is affectionately called, very much so with the charts for everything. It was a big detraction. A lot of people just didn't like the charts, felt that it was too much lookup. But I tell you, after you played it, several games leading into years, everyone at our table knew our charts by heart. We could roll a die and know exactly what that amounted to on any given chart. We got very used to it. The game made sense. Um, Made sense to to be fair, it made sense to a group of engineering students. I was in as computer science, electrical engineering. My buddies were mechanical engineering, chemical engineering. So yeah, it was a bunch of engineering nerds that played Rollmaster back in the day. So I did a backing for this Kickstarter. Thick book, lots of good information in it. It's very much when I say they took inspiration from Middle Earth. I mean, a lot of the black and white art in here is so reminiscent of what you would see in those Middle Earth books. Let me see if I can get you another example here. Um, got one picture of what is just essentially a ring wraith. There's no other way that you can put that down. I'm actually very interested in that they didn't get any people complaining about intellectual property on this. It's a great book. The Kickstarter price was really nice for it for a book this size and this complete. I mean, this is all you need to run the game for many years. However, I very much doubt I will ever play this game. Not because it's a bad game. As I said, the rules are much streamlined, much quicker than MERP or Rollmaster ever was. It's just that I have such a nostalgia over Rollmaster that I know that if I were attempting to play in or run this game, I would really just rather play Rollmaster. I just know myself. My very long running Rollmaster game. I also have my miniature that I've kept all this time for my character. I was not the GM for this game. My character was a mystic monk, a fighting monk that had a gigantic broadsword. This Ral Partha miniature was very close to what I envisioned for my character, and I've had this miniature. I've had this miniature since a freshman in college many decades ago. Steve Dorr, yes, may in fact be that they did get complaints and they just didn't publicize it. Yeah, back in the day, I was the guy who ran Vampire. Vampire was new, it was fresh, first edition, and it was kind of my style of game. Very much horror, very much dark. Most of my other buddies were all into very technical D&D-esque sort of games. That's why we gravitated to Rollmaster. So I was the Vampire White Wolf guy, and my buddy James ran Rollmaster. So yeah, if you're looking at this book, again, it's there's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly good system. It just my nostalgia factor for Rollmaster is just so high that it will definitely keep me from wanting to play or run this. I just love that system so much. Now, speaking of which, well, I said I got this maybe a month and a half ago or so. What I did find recently on eBay, Run Out the Guns. Rollmaster had several editions. First and second edition was pretty much the same, with some tweaks, some additions, and a few edits, but for the most part, first and second edition were completely compatible. Then the standard system came out. More recently was the Rollmaster Express, or the redoing of second edition Rollmaster. But there was a time when Iron Crown Entertainment made so many campaign worlds based on their Rollmaster standard system. I like standard. It was okay, but I played a lot of second edition. Most of that college campaign was all second edition. We changed to standard towards the end. Didn't like it as much, but that was just our preference. Nothing wrong with the rules. But I've been wanting to get my hands on this for a while. This is a Pirates of the Caribbean sort of game, using the Rollmaster standard system. They released this one box set, one very slim volume of extra rules, and one like character portfolio sort of thing. And that's all that was ever out for it. I never got a chance to play it, but I was able to find this on eBay. I think I paid like $15 and a little bit of shipping for it, and it's still sealed. This game was made in well, this was 98. This wasn't I'd like to say it's not that long ago, but yeah, 98. 98 has been some time now. And yes, I am going to open this because I am not in whole a collector of games to ooh and ah on a shelf. I play games. So I'm going to open this bad boy up. All right, so what do we get in this box set? Of course, the the Iron Crown. The company still exists, by the way. They have not existed for periods of time, but they are in full existence now. A lot of their Shadow World books are being reprinted. They're all easily accessible on DriveThruRPG now. Most of their catalog is. And they've been doing a public playtest of the next version of Rollmaster for years now. I'm hoping that will make it to a Kickstarter, or maybe just go right out to the sales floor soon. I wish them all the best on it. Iron Crown produced a lot of fun stuff. It was very much a part of my college years. All right. We have the summer 1998 Ice catalog. Black and white, not a lot of pictures in there at all. But in 1998, they were very much, I don't know if you can see this, but Middle-earth role-playing. They had gotten the license by some stroke of luck or Pax with the Devil, and they marketed the heck out of it. There seemed to be a new MERP book just every few months during that time. All right. Of course, the dice. Terror Billie Jean, thank you very much. Nice to see you in here. This game uses D percentile dice, and so we have two. The percentile in here and one of the tens. It's kind of nice. quick start. Now, this game is a historical game, so this is not one that's got horror elements or fantastical elements at all. So, like, if you want to play a historical pirate game, this might be fun. It includes your letter of marque so that you can do legal pirating out there. Always fun. Ooh, nice map. I won't be able to fit this whole thing into the camera here, I'm sure. But this is... Okay. It's a blown-in map of the West Indies. Doesn't tell me circa what, however. Kind of nice, though. Kind of gives you an idea of the area that you will be doing your pirating in. Yeah, very shiny. All right, so there's the Game Master's booklet. Of course, this is going to have a lot of rules in it for your sailing vessels, combat on the high seas, which Rollmaster had an entire box set on just rules for sea battles, so I'm sure this is just a small subset of that. All right, here we go. The Combat Book, a book to itself. Again, Rollmaster, well known for its charts. One of my favorite charts in Rollmaster is there's a set of spells for a cleric called Depression Ways. Basically, it's a very emo chart. You flood your enemies with all kinds of guilt and despondency. And a 99 crit result on that chart was, life isn't worth living, you lay in a corner and die. Awesome crit chart. All right, the player's book. This one gets into, so your characters are all going to have positions on board the ship, of course. And this goes over your classes are the positions that you hold aboard the ship. Again, it's all black and white, mostly line art. Not bad, though. Oh, here we go. Here we go. A bunch of fold outs of the different kinds of ships. So we've got a galleon. It's got all the critical or hit locations on it, telling you how many cannons you can have aboard, who's manning them. And there's several of these in here for different kinds of ships. Oh, yeah, this might be a lot of fun. I'm going to have to find some folks that don't mind overly tactical game and see if I can get this in at some time. Here we go. Station, ranks, and duties for your characters. Who gets to swab the deck tonight? Yeah. Fun stuff. All right. So, what's left in here? Background information. That was another thing that Rollmaster did. Rollmaster was a kit system. You had your core book that gave you a few different classes, a few different professions. But then there were 8, this is for Rollmaster 1st and 2nd edition, there were 8 source books that just added on. As a GM, you can use some, all, or none of those extra rules, of course. And I think Rollmaster books 2 and 3 were the ones that I used the most. I believe it was 2 that had extensive background information. Your character, where they grew up, what conditions they grew up under, what things they picked up extra from those conditions. Great. Really, really good book for that. There's a separate book here. It looks like it's got some pre-generated characters, some NPCs, and a short guide to creating the character itself. Always useful in systems that have really intensive rule sets. And of course, the character sheet. I think that's what this is. Yeah. Oh no, it's the replacement parts order form. If you wanted another color map, a smaller map, a ship display, etc., you could add extra parts. And here we go. Here is the black and white smaller version of that nice color map that we saw earlier. There's 4 pieces of this in here. Yep. And that pretty much comes to the end of this box. Yeah. I definitely want to try this again just for nostalgia's sake, if nothing else. So, anyone out there and interested in a particularly tactical game, would like to do some piracy in the high seas, this may be coming to a virtual game table near you. Hey, Mark Songs. Yes, Rollmaster Combat. It could go on for hours, but it was never boring. All kinds of fun had with that in the college days. All right. So this is the unboxing. Well, that was kind of an unboxing, but this is the budget gaming unboxing. This was on Amazon for $13. And again, my idea with cheap board games like this is to see if there are parts inside that can be salvaged for tabletop role playing. And if the game itself ends up being good, that's just the bonus. What missing game did you find there, Steve Dorr? Replying to chat. No Mission Vader. Yes, as a Rifts player, rules books don't scare you. As a Rifts player, all rule books should scare you because those things were hideous. Not to dog on you. I played a lot of Rifts as well. We had maybe a 5-year-long Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game and a Ninja Spies and Private Eyes. They were horrible games, but they were so fun, especially while inebriated. All right, let's see what we got here. So, this one didn't come to me shrink wrapped. It's got plastic tabs intact, though. So, Godzilla. Tokyo Clash. I'm hoping for some nice monster miniatures in this one. All right, what do we got here? Full color rulebook. Good start. Oh, congrats. Fantasy Flight Star Wars game book you were looking for. Which one were you missing? Oh, nice. I like rule books that show you like game tabletop examples. Hopefully the rules will be easy enough to follow. I'd like to check it out. Whenever I get a chance to run these games, I'll do a follow-up video on what I thought of them. So far we've done Conan, Tower of the Elephant. We got Godzilla today, and what did I open last week? I've already forgotten. It didn't have awesome. Oh, that's right. The Target exclusive Warhammer Space Marine game. All right, so minis. Wow. I watched a lot of Godzilla flicks in my time, but I, for the life of me, have no idea who this miniature is supposed to be. It's well detailed, though. Plastic is good and dense, not too flexy. Looks like it'd paint nicely. The Age of Rebellion core rulebook, Steve. Yeah. Yep. I played some Fantasy Flight Star Wars at one point. I enjoyed it. I like that dice system, the narrative dice system, where the dice kind of tell you the story as you're going. Ah, here we go. The Brute himself. Nice size, too. Let's see if we can pick up some detail on that camera. Yeah, that's a nice mini. It's got a lot of texture as well. I think this will paint up real nice. Here we go. Mothra. All right. Again, it's got a lot of nice texture to the miniature. I bet you could get away with just doing a base coat, dry brush, and ink, and these things would look pretty nice without a lot of fancy painting. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I have turned off links onto the channel stream here. Not something intentional. I just keep forgetting to throw the switch. So we've got these little transparent cubes. I guess they're resource markers. Oh, here we go. One more miniature. I think this is King Ghidorah. I believe. It's been a while since I've watched me some Godzilla. Again, it's got some really nice texture on this. So what did we end up with? 4 miniatures? Okay. Megalon. Megalon. Okay. Thanks, Steve. Steve Dorr. All right, so this is the board. Connecting hexes. And pieces. All right, we got like a subway train sort of thing. They're only one-sided, though. That's a shame. An industrial dock. So this is how you put your city of Tokyo together. By the look of it, it is all like industrialized downtown Tokyo. And the train yards. Shame it's only single-sided, though. Give you a little bit more variance if you had that other side to use. Yeah, Stephen, I recognize your handle on there. So we have some buildings. I guess this is what you get to smash down, and some radar installations, and of course a nuclear power plant. You can't have a Godzilla flick without a nuclear power plant that you can smash down. Once I get all my tech figured out, which is sadly going to require a new machine, I do intend on having a channel on our Discord channel where anyone that wants to chat live can just pop in and we can get you on the audio and we can chat instead of me just reading off the Twitch chat that has a significant 15-second delay or so. All right, so, oh, not good. All right, so I guess these are your mission cards, and they are made of some of the flimsiest cardstock I think I have ever seen. I mean, they're already warped coming out of a sealed box. Colorful, but man, that is some flimsy stuff. And let's see, this is a tracking board. All right, I got it. So there's a story that goes on, and you track when story elements happen in the game. That's kind of neat. Also, all right, so the cardboard part's not bad. Definitely seen better, but that's not bad. Ooh, okay, so tracking sheets for each of your creatures. And yeah, sadly, also very, very flimsy cardstock. You know, I think what I'd do with these is probably just go ahead and laminate them. Might make it easier to make hash marks on these as well. If you laminate them, just use grease pen, dry erase, so you don't have to keep track of your little cubes. Might do that if the game ends up being fun. We got some punch-out components. There's actually 2 sheets of so I was going to say they're nice and thick, but no, they are not. This is 2 sheets in here, and they're pretty flimsy. Again, very colorful, but I don't know that these would last very long. In comparison, I used to play a lot of Squadron Leader, old chit and map. That's chit, CHIT, and map game back in the 80s. And that's when they were first really doing the punchboard parts, and those were much thicker in comparison to some of the stuff that's being done today. Okay, now the cards themselves. Let's see how these look. All right. Yeah, first off, cards are very thin, much thinner than, a Magic card or a Pokemon card. Much, much thinner. So this is a battling game, of course. So you're playing one or more of these monsters, and you're having a big duke it out over the city of Tokyo. And so these are your actions. So counter. Mangle's a good one. Hey, what does Mangle do? Destroy a small building or a vehicle within range. Okay, yeah. This might be a fun game. Triple beam. All right. So each of the monsters have their own stack of combat cards. That's kind of cool. They, I think it was in the 2010s or so, they made a collectible monster bashing game. Was it called Monster Apocalypse or something like that? Where they had very iconic teams. Like you'd have your Ultraman style team of the big robot warriors. You'd have your Cthulhu faction. And they did several series of those. Got it, never played it, picked them up at a yard sale, a whole box full of them. Thought the miniatures were cool, never did anything with them. I think now they've relaunched the game, but with pro parts. So the minis now are metal. They're meant to be painted and, done up real nice, whereas the original game was just, cheap plastic. They didn't look great, but they were painted. That was something. So we have come to, that's a flying stand there for one of the monsters. Come to the end of the box. Nothing else in there. So component-wise, what do we have to use? We've got 4 really highly detailed monsters that are quite nice, and a bag of buildings, which might make for some decent terrain. I don't know. I think for that alone, that wasn't bad. I mean, anymore, plastic miniatures run, $2 to $5? Metal more than that. So, yeah, it wasn't horrible. Of course, I got Amazon Prime, so I didn't pay any shipping on this, which really helps. And the game might be fun. Still not having lots of people over for the whole COVID thing. Board game nights had already started slowing down, honestly, before COVID kind of hit. But I am kind of looking forward where I can open up the man cave again and have people over to have board game nights and give some of these games that I have bought for parts a try. See if the games are worth anything or not. Okay. Well, so that is mail call. Didn't have anything else really interesting come in this week. I've been slowing down my Kickstarter purchases lately. Not because there hasn't been a lot of good things out there. There has. Just, like most people, just watching the budget now. Things getting a little tighter all around. So I got to be more choosy about what I back on Kickstarter. But I tell you what, I see deals all the time in my local Targets and Walmarts for games that they can't sell at full price. Like, I think full price, this thing was nearly 40 or 45 bucks. Yeah. So can't move them at that price, cut it in half. That doesn't move at that price, cut them in half again. And I think they destroy them after that. So check out your local Walmarts and Targets. Check out their clearance racks. They always have some shelf shoved in the back somewhere where they've got all these lonely little games and things that they couldn't get rid of marked down. Find yourself some good parts for your role-playing game. Might even find a good game or two. Very possible. Well, that's pretty much all I got for the night. Reminiscing some about Rollmaster. If you guys have played with me as a character in games much at all. I always recycle the name Mornith. Mornith was this character. This was my Rollmaster character all through college and grad school. A lot of fond memories. He lived the entire way. Died once, but came back through a blessing of an evil god. Yeah, it was not a good centric campaign, not in the least. But yeah, Rollmaster, a lot of fun there. Against the Dark Master, I mean, give it a shot. It is a huge book. It is packed full of goodness. It is complete. It's got everything you'll need for years of fun in it. I doubt I will run it, but it might just have gotten me in the taste to run a Rollmaster game. Maybe that nice little pirate game that I showed tonight. Anyway, that's all I've got for tonight, guys. This has been a chat and mail call and unboxing. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys.